and you don't sleep with your goddamn husband, then what do you have to offer?
I spy with my little eye a woman that's telling a goddamn lie. Her content should seriously come labeled for entertainment purposes only, because she can't be for real. How on earth could a woman with no husband sit around and talk about women with husbands? And let's just be honest, this is an independent woman, okay? An independent woman selling dependent woman rhetoric. She has multiple streams of income, multiple podcasts, multiple appearances. She ain't worried about taking care of nobody's bobble-headed ass kids, and or she's not worried about pleasing any man. She lives her life on her own terms, and it looks to me like she enjoys it and has no intention on changing it. This is Pearly Things, over 1 million subscribers. She's making anywhere from $200,000 to $1 million, 12 to 20K per week, y'all. That's some men's income annually, per week, y'all. This woman is at least in the 32 percentile tax bracket. At least. So you know who she's not dating or married to? Joe, the gas station attendant. Gary, the truck driver. If she does get married, it'll be by some guy named Charles, who will be able to afford her maids, butlers, nannies, caretakers, spa days, gyms. She's not fucking with this type of man. He's not even on her radar. So at the end of the day, the same type of smoke we have for women who preach independence when they are actually dependent, is the same type of smoke we need to have for women who are preaching dependency when they are actually quite independent. Emphasis on the quite. Oh, I doubt she'd be talking this shit if she had to deal with those type of men that are relative to that particular tax bracket, which is what most women are running the hell away from. Imagine him telling you you can't make your $12,000, $14,000 a week because you need to focus on having a family and serving your man. I would love to see you bust somebody's bobble-headed child out of your pearly thing. It's never gonna happen. Stop it, girl. Stop the caps, please.
Instead of toppling white supremacy, what hoteps ultimately want to do is replace white male patriarchy with black male patriarchy. Hey everyone, this is Damon from Very Smart Brothers, and you're about to hear the only hotep explainer you will ever need to hear. If someone has some lotion nearby, please help me out because it's about to get real ashy. Hotep is an Egyptian word that means peace. It's basically like the Egyptian version of what's good. It's become a way to describe a certain level of like performative pro-blackness. These hoteps aren't just super pro-black, they're also anti-women, anti-gay, anti-trans people, basically anti-everything that isn't a straight black man. What separates them from genuine pro-blackness is that their pro-blackness is limiting. It doesn't include people who fit outside of the definitions of what a black person is supposed to be. A hotep starter kit, you need like a vat of ash. You know how you could walk outside and you'll see like, 21-year-old white women carrying little dogs in their purses. Well, hoteps carry ash like women carry dogs in purses. It's basically ash is a hotep shih tzu. Maybe you have a beard with no mustache that seems to be like a hotep look. You need a copy of the Willie Lynch letter. It's part of the hotep Bible. You need an attaché just to carry all of your conspiracy theories around with you, because I can imagine that could be pretty exhausting to carry them all in your head. What makes the hotep is what comes out of his mouth. Remember that scene in Don't Be a Menace? It was right in the beginning during the cookout.
Can you do me a favor, my brown skin angel? Can you tap that white girl for me?
He is like the embodiment of hotep.
My milk of magnesia.
It's not a bad thing to be pro-black. I mean, we are, supposed to be black and proud. Blackness is limitless. Blackness is beautiful. Blackness is awesome. To a hotep, blackness is static.
Okay, so the argument is becoming circular, which means it's becoming stupid, which means this is the last time I'm going to respond to this. The black men do not have any empathy for black women. I've said this before and I said it again. They do not have any empathy for black women, period, right? So it is hard for them to even actualize scenarios where we would be affected by the behavior that they depict, right? We're not supposed to be affected by their behavior. We're simply just supposed to act in the role that is assigned for us, and then they will pseudo half-ass act in the role that is assigned for them. We are not supposed to be affected by their behavior one way or the other. And really, a lot of y'all should just say, I don't want to self-improve. And we can just get the shit over with then. Just say you don't want to be a better person. Say you don't want to be a better human being. Just keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it a bando with me. You feel me? Just say, I don't want to be a better person. Period. But let's just talk about the statistics. It is astonishing the amount of DV and SA that young black girls experience at the hands of black men. Not to say that black men don't experience DV and SA, but it's almost to the proportion of epidemic. Okay? Then let's consider the fact that with younger girls who are teenagers are having children out of wedlock, by and large, by black men, and it's not by black men of their age group. So what we are talking about is acute amounts of SA that is happening, and statutory rape that is happening to young black girls under the age of 18. But I know you're not going to look up the stat. I know you don't care. So this is for my ladies. Ladies, you have to protect your energy because they don't want to understand the symbiotic relationship between their pathologies, their misogynoir, and our reaction to it as being a protective measure, right? We're not supposed to want safety to be in our femininity when clearly femininity speaks to being vulnerable. So if you are sitting around vulnerable, if you're sitting around passive, the type of linear, light femininity that they exalt, they should be racing their ass to the front of the line to be the biggest protectors for all women so that they can create a barrier around black women so that they all feel safe so that we can get into this light femininity that they exalt. So my mutual did a video on dating red flags. I can't stitch the video, so I'm going to tag her in it and talk about it here. Yesterday, I stitched a video of a guy who was talking about his dating experience and saying that you have to earn a good man. This is what he was putting out to the internet. As he goes on into his story, he was talking about how he showed up for these women whining and dining them, and they wouldn't reciprocate. And then when they asked about the level of the relationship, the status of the relationship, he simply replied, there is no status and there never will be. And his reasoning for saying that was because those women were not psychic enough to reciprocate the things that he wanted them to reciprocate, even though he never communicated those things to them. So essentially what he was doing was testing those women. And also love bombing those women. I just want to be clear on that. Love bombing is not genuine interest. So we call this the boyfriend effect. These men give women the boyfriend effect because most of the time they're average looking guys. Maybe they don't have the same sexual appeal as they feel like a guy like Pookie has. And further, in the back of their mind, what they believe women are objects to be conquered as well. But they have to just go about it a different way. See, they understand that Pookie can say to a woman, or they believe Pookie can say to a woman, hey, I just want to knock around your shit a couple times a week. Is that cool? And Pookie gets that, right? Pookie might even get a key to the apartment, a key to the house, a key to the Benz. But they know they have to cosplay the nice guy. They have to take you out on dates. They have to listen to your stories. They have to communicate with you. They have to give you a certain feeling of comfort before they can get the draws. Make no mistake about it, this behavior tendency is not sincere in the slightest bit. These guys are also slightly resentful that they have to do more than the guy who is what they consider to be the low quality guy. That resentment turns into contempt for women, and it also turns into entitlement of certain actions, behavior, responses from women. I would argue that this is more cruel than Pookie, who just puts it straight out there. Because what he's doing is he's building up a rotation of women who are on the hook while he breadcrumbs them. See, he love bombed them in the beginning to get them hooked. Now they have it in their head, their conscious mind, that he's a good man. Because they have that shit in their head, he can have a steady rotation of supply of women. See, because if he really wanted that woman from the beginning, it wouldn't matter how she reciprocated to him. That is not what they really care about, even though they say that they do. When they don't really want the woman, that is when they start talking about how you reciprocated, why you didn't read my mind. And you know it's bullshit, because all he had to do was communicate it. And if you watch the video, the woman did try to correct her behavior, and he was having none of it. Why? Because somehow she's being punished for not being psychic, right? Make it make sense. Now, the problem with men like this is that they all have the same objective. Whether Pookie going to a straight line of doing very little to exploit a woman, he is doing a lot to exploit a woman. And he's even more upset that he has to do a lot, or what he considers to be a lot, to exploit a woman. But the objective is exploitation, which means he's not a fucking good man. But he gives women the boyfriend effect, and they get confused. Anytime a man does not communicate clearly what he wants out of you and out of the relationship, and he holds you to a standard that he never even said out of his mouth, the man is full of shit. Stop wasting your time thinking that you did something wrong. This man is playing mind games. TikTok, I'm going to need your help with this one. Today we are talking about the infantilization of black boys and the adultification of black girls. I have a theory that in this day and age, we are experiencing so much dissension between black men and black women because of maladaptive programming that's coming to a head. It's not necessarily gender wars as it is centuries of piled up, maladaptive, dysfunctional programming coming to a head. And TikTok, this is all scripted and is for educational purposes only. We all know what butt breaking is for, and we all know why it was used. But do we understand that there is a psychology that comes before any type of abuse? There is a period of grooming. And in the efforts to break down black male masculinity, they use butt breaking as a tool to humiliate him. And part of that humiliation was a term called flogging.
Flogging is done by dealing blows and whipping. What's one place where you see that happening today?
Police brutality. A Georgetown study reveals the sting of adultification identified by young black girls early in their adolescence. What groomed the slave girl to be ready to be bred and have a bunch of babies was having her being looked at as an adult. Now this is where you come in, TikTok. How many black girls remember needing to be responsible, dutiful, take care of household, take care of siblings, or at least be dependable and reliable growing up? While conversely, the young brother was allowed to go outside, have fun, play, be a little bit more carefree, make mistakes, lots of mistakes, mind you. To the point that once he became an adult, he had learned helplessness. He could not get off on his own 2 feet without at least using some sort of crutch to move him forward. And the mother would still go on and on about how he has it harder and how racism plays a part in him not being able to self-actualize. So let's look at some of the base of the arguments today. Black women are saying, hey, I'm a fully functional adult. What do you want me to do about it? Black men are saying, I see that you're a fully functional adult, or they'll call you an independent woman. To shame you, you will notice that these men are constantly complaining about women not taking accountability for how they present themselves and how that presentation makes them feel. Their triggers are the black woman's responsibility. They say that they can't be fully men unless we allow them to. But is allowance something that generally tends to happen if you fully take control of your own life? No, it only happens when you believe you are helpless. A lot of people scratch the surface with these things and don't want to deal with these issues and problems head on. They want to go around and cover and gloss over these problems and come up with solutions that don't get to the root of the problem.
I think it is high time we allow our little girls to embrace softness, not to overburden them and make them responsible for things that they shouldn't be responsible for at a young age. It is also time to allow our young boys to incur the weight of the consequences of their behavior when it is too out of hand. And I'm not saying shaming or bullying them, of course not. Also allowing them to express their emotions in a healthy way. We got a long way to go, guys. Let's just do it.